Okay, we'll call this meeting of the Coralville City Council on February 12th, 2019. Don, roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Gross.
Here.
Foster.
Present.
Gill. Present. Dodds. Goodrich.
Here.
Excellent. Motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda except for we're removing item 6, the audit report.
Second.
Moved by Gill, seconded by Dodds to approve the agenda minus item 6. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The agenda is okay. All right.
I would just point out that the reason the audit report was moved again was because the auditor's from Waterloo, and so he didn't want to make it down.
218 is closed.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it's only fitting because Mayor Lindell always tries to get the audit report when I'm Mayor Pro Tem, so it's good that he'll get to hear it next time. All right. Citizen comments. Now is the time for any citizen to speak on any item that's not on the agenda. If you'd like to do so, please come up to the podium and state your name and address, and we'd love to hear from you. Okay. No one's here. People are here, but no one's here to talk on items on the agenda. Item 5, bonds public hearing. This is for a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on the bonds, the general obligation bonds of the essential corporate purpose loan agreement? I will close the public hearing. Don, the resolution?
Resolution authorizing one or more loan agreements and providing for the levy of taxes to pay the same, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Foster, seconded by Gill. Discussion. Tony, do you have words of wisdom for us, or are you just getting ready?
I'm getting ready, but the this bond issue is for Coleridge Avenue Phase 2 and First Avenue street projects.
Excellent. Further discussion on the resolution? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds. Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item C. I will open the public hearing on a issuance of a bond not to exceed $4.8 million. Seeing no comment, I will close the public hearing. Don, the resolution.
Resolution making a determination to issue urban renewal tax increment revenue refunding bonds, introduced by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Gross, seconded by Goodrich. Discussion. Roll call.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye. Motion's carried. Item 7. This will be our report by our Director of Finance, Tony Rotland, on our 2020 fiscal year budget.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Gross. So this is the time of year where we set the hearing and for the budget for fiscal 2020. As a part of that process, we have a presentation. I'll run through some things. If anybody has, on the council, has questions or additional things they'd like addressed, just let me know. So this is the budget for the fiscal year 2020 that runs from 7/1/19 to 6/30/2020 in the way of highlights, goals, and challenges. So the proposed property tax rate in this proposed budget is unchanged for the 10th consecutive year. It does include, this proposal, a sewer rate increase to fund future citizen needs. The goals of the budget, as always, are to pass a balanced budget, maintain the property tax rate when possible, maintain sufficient fund balances, all while providing high-quality public services. The challenges are, of course, as we all know in our home finances as well, costs generally rise. We want to provide services to our citizenry at economical cost levels, and we need to plan for future needs in the budget. Any budget discussion has to involve a little bit of property tax explanation. So a little bit about that. Property in Iowa is, under state law, categorized into property classes. There are 6, and they are listed there from residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural. The new one, as of FY17, a couple years ago, is multi-residential. Think multifamily housing. And there are growth limitations imposed on each class to, in theory, eliminate dramatic tax shifts between the classes. That growth limitation results in a reduction of the assessed value called a rollback. The value's rolled back to a smaller number before the tax rate is applied to it. That rollback changes every year for various classes. So here's a comparison and a change column for fiscal year 20 that we're budgeting for and fiscal year 19 that we are in. So residential in the coming fiscal year will increase from 55 and 62 cents to 56.92 approximately. So that's $1.29 or 1 1/3%. Multi-residential is on a stair-step decline under statute until it ends up being the same number as the plain residential rollback. Commercial and industrial are at 90%, unless and until there would be some action on the legislature's part. And ag is tied to residential as well, but is a slightly different number. But those two move in tandem. So a residential property assessed at a hypothetical $100,000 in Coralville, on that property, the taxable value for FY20 will increase almost $1,300. So if you multiply that $1,300 of higher taxable value times the constant tax rate at the city of Coralville under this proposal, the property tax paid to the city would increase $17.55 year over year. As a point of reference, in the year we're in, it was $17.34 lower than the prior year. So for residential property taxpayers, they're going to see an increase due to the rollback change next year versus this year. But this year, they saw a decrease of very much like amount versus the prior year, again, because of changes in the rollback. For commercial and industrial property, the rollback stays at 90%. The city's proposed tax rate is still the same tax rate, so the property tax paid by the property owner would remain the same year over year. It's been a few years ago, but I'll remind everyone of the commercial property tax reform legislation of 2013. The reason that I would even mention this at this many years later is when it rolled back commercial and industrial property values from 100% to 90% over 2 fiscal years in 5% steps, the state entered into an agreement to provide replacement payments to local governments, including cities. There's no sunset to the legislation, and it's a standing appropriation. It's important to cities because those revenues go in the general fund, they flow to the debt service fund, TIF funds, and the employee benefits fund. So anything paid out of any of those funds, which is just about everything, that's property tax paid for a city, is in part paid by that replacement payment made by the state to cities under its agreement from back in 2013. The city's property tax levy has 5 components: the general fund levy, the tort or insurance levy, a transit-specific levy, trust and agency or employee benefits levies, and the debt service levy. And here's a listing of the proposed rates in FY20 and FY19. On this slide, I could have just said same, because they are all the same. Sometimes, even if the total tax rate for the city is the same, there might be shifts between components, but this year the proposal is the same tax rate for each of the levies. So then, to zoom out a little bit or widen the lens and look at a typical Coralville property owner's total property tax bill. Here's a listing of property tax rates by taxing entity for someone living in Coralville and within the Iowa City Community School District part of Coralville. I've highlighted the row that is Coralville's tax rate, the $13.5277 per thousand of valuation. The other taxing entities are listed, but the total and the tax rates I've got here are the city's proposed rate for 20, the other body's actual FY19, because they're in the process of setting their coming year rate, and so we don't necessarily know what those are. Here's a pie chart with the same information. So it gives you a feel for the proportion of the average taxpayer's bill, what's going to which taxing entity. And there are a few very small slivers at like the Ag Extension, State of Iowa, the assessor levy, but by and large, the bulk of it is the school district, the city of Coralville, and Johnson County. So the general fund is the city's chief operating fund, and among the revenues and resources coming into that fund are property and hotel motel tax. Those are a couple of the largest taxes. License and permit fees, for instance, building or rental housing permits and inspection fees. Interest or rental of property, use of money and property is the state statutory term for that. Intergovernmental revenues, so grants or payments under contracts from other governmental entities or the state or the federal government. Charges for services like signing up for T-ball at the rec center or something like that, or soccer. And then there's a sort of a catch-all of other financing sources and miscellaneous, which is borrowings or interfund transfers or the like. So the estimated revenue for fiscal year 20 is projected at 28 million, just a hair over 28 million for the general fund. And that's about a 2% increase from FY19's budget level. And the general fund supports all the functions paid from the general fund: public safety, so fire, police, animal control, health, social services, culture, recreation, community development, general governmental costs like administration and planning, and then there are always those catch-alls, contingency or miscellaneous. To break up that a little over 28 million of projected general fund revenues, we have a listing on this slide that shows, and you can see far and away the largest one is property taxes and excise taxes. And then a little way down the list, we have hotel motel tax at about 3 million. At 11%, that's a bigger proportion of Coralville's budget than it would be in many towns or cities, and it's certainly large on a per capita basis for the city of Coralville. And then proposed general fund departmental expenditures are on this slide: park and rec, police, fire, animal control, and on down the list. You'll notice that, and it may seem odd at first, contingency, transfers, and other is number 3, which probably seems, you don't expect an other category to be way up the list. That would be the net TIF release that we're often talking about from the mall TIF beginning in the current fiscal year and each year thereafter. That's a significant proportion of that line item. And then outside the general fund, we have special revenue funds like the road use tax fund or the streets department. State road use tax monies are allocated by population. So our 2010 census is the number that gets used. This projection is actually flat year over year, which is not the norm, but DOT is providing guidance, and as they do every year, but this year they're providing guidance that does not show an increase for FY20 over FY19. So we're hopeful that there will be a higher number, but what we usually do is budget at the DOT guidance level, and that's $121.50 per capita. Someday when we have another census and the population is higher, that total revenue number will go up from that as well. We also have enterprise funds. We're proposing no change in user rate structure for any of the enterprise funds, but for, listed at the bottom, the sewer treatment plant improvement project. Since we got bids for that and we're able to run the final numbers, we believe one more year, FY20, of increase will be necessary there. And if we take that user rate change and examine that for a moment, the minimum fee of $12.50 would go to $13.75 under this proposal, and then each additional 100 cubic feet measured off the water meter usage would go from $4 per 100 cubic feet of water to $4.40. And this bar chart shows that for what is an industry standard for a 3-bedroom house residence on a national basis. So the water and sewer industry kind of uses this as a typical residence. So we've put it in those terms on this chart. Here's an overview of all of the enterprise funds. There's a couple things to note here. One, the second column or the second row, wastewater, is very large compared to what you would normally expect there. That includes a big part of the construction project that's currently going on at the wastewater treatment plant. And then there are 2 footnotes that indicate where we might have expenditures that are higher than revenues, why that might be. And the basic reason is when we have grant matches made out of reserves, so money we've saved up over time, and we're using that for a grant project or for some sort of capital purchase or equipment replacement. So it may not be in current year revenues, but from prior year revenues, we've saved that money up. So a little bit about timing and additional information. The Connection City Magazine is scheduled to appear soon on the website and in mailboxes. It's got an article on the budget near the back, and on February 26th at 6:30 p.m. we'll have the public hearing that we're setting at this meeting. And then on March 12th will be the planned city final vote on the budget. We'll file it on the 15th, and it'll be effective beginning July 1st. And you can get an overview on our website beginning tomorrow. I never like to post this till we've gone through this process with the city council and the mayor, or in paper copy at City Hall or the public library. Again, in the Connection magazine, and on Coral Vision as well.
Good. Thank you, Tony. Questions for Tony? Okay, item 8. Oh, I guess we have to probably set the date for the budget. We should probably do that.
Yeah.
Resolution for setting the date?
Which one?
7B, Don.
Resolution setting a date for the public hearing on the fiscal year 2020 budget, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gill, seconded by.
Moved by Gill, second by Dodds. Discussion? Roll call.
Dodds. Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 8, Old Hickory Lane Storm Sewer. On the motion. No, someone needs to make a motion, yes.
So moved.
Moved by Gill? second by Dodds. Discussion. Resolution.
You just need to do a
Have to have
voice vote on the
A voice
motion.
vote on the motion.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Kevin. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now the resolution.
Resolution accepting the Old Hickory Lane storm sewer is completed. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Dodds, seconded by Goodrich. Discussion. Roll call.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Motion passes. Item 9, River Landing. Don, the resolution.
You're too fast for me. Resolution approving an engineering services agreement with Terracon Consultants, Inc. for 802 Quarry Road Tier 2 Site Cleanup Report. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Goodrich, seconded by Foster. Discussion. I said this is a cleanup that's being done that's required by the DNR at this specific site. Roll call.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds. Goodrich.
Motion carries. Item 10. Oh, Goodrich, you vote?
Yeah.
You okay?
Item B.
Excellent. Let the record show how upset Councilwoman Goodrich is about the cleanup that needs to happen. So she's outraged.
Item B.
Item B.
Resolution approving an agreement with DeLong Construction, Inc. for site fill at East 2nd Avenue and East 9th Street. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Foster, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Foster, seconded by Gill. Discussion? Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill. Dodds. Goodrich. Foster.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, 4th Avenue Sanitary Sewer Improvements. Don, the resolution.
Resolution approving an engineering service agreement with HR Green, Inc. for 4th Avenue Sanitary Sewer Improvements. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Moved by Gross, seconded by Dodds. Discussion. This will be improving a sewer line on 4th Avenue. Roll call.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds. Goodrich. Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye. Motion passes. Resolution passes, actually. Item 11, 1002 5th Street Lease Agreement. Don, the resolution.
Resolution approving an amendment to that certain lease agreement with the Coralville Community Food Pantry for 1002 5th Street. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gill, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Gill, seconded by Goodrich. Discussion.
Yeah, this would be for an extension of the lease to the community food pantry at the old Coralville Post Office. And instead of putting an end date like we had on the previous one, this just allows either party to provide a 180-day notice so that the property is needed or they would like to leave the property. And as they noted, that is one of their major goals, is to relocate the food pantry because they need more space than where they're at currently. But this allows them to continue to be at that facility until such time as they find something.
This is really no different than the 180 days. We just took the end date out.
Yes, exactly.
And Mayor Pro Tem, I will need to recuse myself from this vote because I have a conflict. I'm on the board of the food pantry, so.
Sure. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Dodds. Aye. Goodrich.
Aye.
Foster.
Abstain with conflict.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Passes 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Item 12, Mobility Coordinator 28E Agreement.
Did he say 4?
Was it 4-1?
It's 4.
It
It's
would
4 out
be-
of 4 because hers does. Since she has a conflict, it doesn't count as a.
As an
So
abstention?
it'd be
Okay.
actually 3.
I mean, they had all 4.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
We're
We're
a
not
well-oiled
really confusing
machine
out
today. All right. Item 12, Mobility Coordinator 28E Agreement. Don, the resolution.
Approving a 28E agreement with Johnson County regarding a mobility coordinator for the period of February 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2019. Introduced for adoption by Councilmember Dodds, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Dodd, second by Foster. Discussion. Roll call.
Goodrich. Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds.
Motion passes. A resolution passes, excuse me. Item 13, contract amendment. Is this just a motion?
Resolution
Resolution? Okay.
approving contract amendment number 3 to contract 16RD001 with the Iowa Economic Development Authority, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Moved by Goodrich, seconded by Foster. Discussion.
Yeah, this is our contract for our Iowa Reinvestment District grant for the arena, which was $12 million from the state of Iowa. This just reflects that we've met all their contingencies, and so as far as the DED is concerned, we're completed with our contract with them, and so now we'll go over and start working on collection of our sales taxes that comes in as part of that process.
Great.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Foster.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds. Goodrich.
Resolution passes. Item 14, consider motion to approve the consent calendar as presented or amended.
Move to approve the consent calendars, item A through NN inclusive.
Moved by Gill, seconded by Dodds.
Need to leave one out.
The roll call, all in favor, say aye.
It would be a
Yeah,
roll call vote.
Roll call.
Gross.
Aye.
Gill.
Aye.
Dodds. Goodrich. Foster.
Aye.
It passes. Item 15, city administrator's report.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all of our public safety and public works employees that have been out and struggled for several weeks. It's not just like a couple of days, but have struggled with several weeks of cold, ice, snow, and they've done a really good job of responding in all kinds of different weather, and just thank all of them for their efforts. And that's it.
Thank you. I was actually going to say the exact same thing in my mayor's report, so I will just move right along to dovetail on what Kelly said. Don and Kevin, anything from the city attorneys?
I have nothing.
Nope.
All right, committee and council members report. We'll start here to my left. Councilmember Gill.
Just drive carefully. Stay warm.
Excellent, thank you. We'll swing down here. Councilwoman Foster.
Yeah, I was just going to also give a shout out to all of our road crews and all of our public safety workers. It's just, been very challenging, and we appreciate all of your work. And just wanted to remind everybody that if you haven't adopted a fire hydrant, you still obviously have plenty of opportunity to do that with all of the snowfall. I just went out and cleared mine off a second time this morning. So contact the fire department if you have questions on how to do that. That's all I have. Thanks.
Could you sit Shirley out, Don?
Yeah, she's
Councilwoman Dodds.
Yeah, thank you. In addition to our streets department, I want to do a shout out to our fire department and our police department for hitting these fires and the accidents that have been happening. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback for our transit of having a city bus show up to keep our firefighters warm during that fire. And everybody thought that was a great idea. So Coralville's been really good standings with doing that smart cleaning, so thanks for that too.
Excellent. And last but not least, Councilwoman Goodrich.
Thank you, Tommy. The musical.
Oh, I
The
thought you were talking
Who,
to
Tommy, yeah. The musical is at the Performing Arts Center this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sure you're going to be attending, Tom. Yeah, maybe not on stage, but yeah. So it sounds like it'll be a wonderful
it's a good-
performance.
yeah.
Great music. Hope you all can attend that. And also just a reminder that March 1st is when the Young Footlighters puts out their summer camp schedule. And that is through the Coralville Rec Center. So start planning for summer camps. Thanks.
All right, we'll be getting ready to go to a work session back in the back room, so we welcome people to join us for that. And on that, motion to adjourn.
So move.
I didn't know when to interject. If I may,
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
article, I think it was FF. My name's Jeff Kimbrough, and I'm with Future Line Truck Equipment out of Cedar Rapids. I sent everybody an email last night, and thank you for responding to me, Councilwoman Foster. I just wanted to say that I believe it'd be in your best interest to, give Future Line the bid on this utility box going on the back of a chassis. It's a difference of $615. One warranty call would cost you guys over $700 just to run that to Mason City. The difference of 157 miles to Mason City and 23 miles up the street. Coralville's been a very loyal customer to Future Line. I just looked up today, you guys have visited us 50 times in the last 5 years. So there are issues with trucks and truck equipment, and we would continue to love to have your business. That being said, I hope you guys could reconsider line item FF. We've got employees that live in Cedar Rapids and Jones County that do business here in Coralville. I myself visit Coralville Landing quite often. My wife alone could probably spend $600 a month at the mall. So that being said, please reconsider. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Are we required to accept the bid that?
The thing, the way the purchasing policy is written, usually we accept the lowest bid, and the buy local component only applies to Coralville located businesses. So the distance in Lynn County versus Cerro Gordo County is not something that the purchasing policy would take into account.
And does that?
We did check Iowa City and Cedar Rapids also, and they have a county preference for local, but they don't go outside the county.
county,
I think
okay.
so. I think the issue that everybody addresses is how far do you,
Right.
And when do you stop?
where do you provide for the distance?
And when you look at the lowest bid, do you take into consideration things like maintenance costs and, weighing the mileage versus?
No, you don't. It's strictly on the low bid, and that's what's called,
It's a competitive bid.
yeah,
It's the lowest bid.
right.
And, it's outside of Coralville. We've got a lot of vendors that are in Des Moines. We've got vendors Omaha, all over that, but it still comes down to the low bid.
Right.
And just to remind everybody, that's a rule set by the state, or is that
This is our own purchasing policy.
okay?
The bid laws only provide, or are for public improvement projects, but we do have a purchasing policy that gives the department heads guidance on how they go about, depending on what the items cost, how many bids they have to solicit, how they do that. So this is, the department head is just following the purchasing policy, which the council, past council has approved and still in effect.
But we thank you for coming forward, and we look forward to doing business with you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Gill, second by Dodds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Meeting's ended. Thank you.